Hi, Parisa. Are you here?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Can you
Just,
hear me?
yes, I can hear you. Can you just let me just change the volume record once? Am I looking fine? Is it visible clearly?
Yes, ma'am, fine. Okay.
Oh, let me just open up the volume thing. I can't hear you properly.
How about now?
Can you speak something now, Parisa?
I said, how about now?
Yes, yes, it's perfectly fine. Am I?
Okay, just give me a few seconds to go and give the link of the live.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
sure. Anything. I can wait.
Okay. After that, we can admit everyone.
Okay. Farisa, do I need to push camera a little back or is it fine?
Uh, no. Just
Right, left, which orientation is better? You can, suggest me that way from your side. If you need me to
now
push,
fine. Now fine. Now fine.
it's fine. Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay. Now fine. Okay. Uh, okay. Just give me a few seconds. Okay. WhatsApp business. Okay, where's the Assalamu alaikum and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it is my pleasure to be your moderator for this session. I am Farisa Hassan, and on behalf of Great Minds, I would like to extend a very welcome to all of you. We appreciate you taking time off of your busy schedule to join us here today. First of all, let me introduce our speaker. To conduct this session, we have here present the MA Clinical Psychology psychologist and mindfulness practitioner and trainer from India, Miss Sakshi Bhushan. She has been in the field for almost 4 years, working with mental health related issues and promoting the well-being. With that being said, I cordially invite Ms. Sakshi Bhushan to conduct this session.
Thank you, Parisa, for introducing me. It's a pleasure to be here with Greater Minds and having the session with you all. I'm really, really honored with this opportunity. So, since most of the people are here, we can start with what I am coming with it. So, it is about.
Your voice is not audible, ma'am.
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yes,
Parisa?
yes. Now okay.
Okay. So I'm just saying that thank you so much for this lovely introduction and this opportunity from Greater Minds for conducting this wonderful session with you people. And I'm really honored and really excited to start this with you all people. And I'm really, really thankful for that. So I guess let's begin with it, or do we have to wait for a few more people to join? Okay, I guess we let's begin with it. So have you ever, have you guys heard about mindfulness? Any thoughts before what is mindfulness and why it is so much in the air? Why is so much popular and why is people are so much interested about mindfulness? Anyone have any idea what is it? Can someone has some reviews what they have heard about mindfulness? Anything? Anyone? So let's start with it. Am I audible to everyone? Can anyone just confirm? Parisa, am I audible clearly?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So if we're talking about what is mindfulness, mindfulness is basically hi Zinital. I may pronounce your name a little wrong. Someone has raised the hand. If anything you want to say about mindfulness? Okay.
I think you better start, ma'am.
Yes, I think I should better start. That's what I'm saying. So mindfulness is basically it is the art of being in present situation, and not just in present situation, being in present situation by not being aware about it, and by being in this present situation we are not being judgmental about it. So it's like the act of paying attention to your purpose, purposefully to your present in a very non-judgmental way. So if I meant by that is like supposingly if you are having a dinner. So I want you, if I'm asking you to do a mindfulness eating, I'm a suspect. I'm asking you to just when you're eating your dinner, just purely focus or give your all attention to the eating. Don't think about anything else. Just give your 100% attention to the eating process of eating. And while eating, just give your attention. Do not think about it more. Do not judge it. Do not observe it. Just aware about what is there in the surroundings. If you're eating, supposedly, whatever your food is, and there's a people around, eat it, observe it, and just accept it the way it is. So when we are sustainably giving this attention to our present, to our thing, what happens if if you're doing a homework and you're writing and you're just writing, things, what happens is, what generally people do, we are doing something and we're thinking about something else. So neither this work is completed and whatever we're thinking, we're just collapsing. So it impacts both of the work, and it reduces the quality of the work. And it leads you, supposing you're writing about an essay about friendship. So while writing an essay about friendship, and you were thinking about your old friendship and how the person is like, and then you started relating friendship with your how type the which kinds of friends you have, which kinds of the friends or other or your brother have, and then thinking and getting into second loop, you start so much thinking that create ruffles, that create tension in your mind, and then we started feeling depressed, stressed, or overly emotions has been developing. It's this second, when we practice this mindfulness, we just stop this the era of second flow. So mindfulness is an act, is a way of living a life. It's a pattern. It is something like the way we do dieting, gymming, yoga. It is similarly a way of living. It is a way of activity that we encourage in our life, so that we could understand what is in our present, what is in our quality, and we may not link to something which has already happened in the past, or the future worries, which we cannot control, so that we can enjoy what we have right now, and we do not get in the second arrow of the thoughts, and destructively get into thoughts which is, negative thoughts, or the feeling which is just so depressing that it bother you or people in some or the other way. So this is it is, I'm trying to explain just what is a mindfulness here, and this is what it done with me. I've been training mindfulness for 2 years now, almost 2.5 to 3 years, specifically mindfulness. And when I started doing it, when I personally, I'm just giving this is a very personal example to me. I am not a person who can do meditation a lot. I have little bit uh, problem with sitting and meditating and thinking about something or getting relaxed with it. So it doesn't give me that stance alone. Always my direction go to diverted, or I started thinking about something else. But at least when I started doing mindfulness, and then I you know incorporating mindfulness with the activities I do in my life, real in the in my day-to-day life, like eating, walking, having a coffee with in the balcony, or painting, or journaling, all the activities that I used to do, when I started doing this activity in the process of mindfulness, in the way of mindfulness, and I make this process of mindfulness is a part of my living pattern, the way I live in the lifestyle. It just gives me another perspective. It gives you a better meaning to your own self. It gives you relaxation. It gives you calmness. You don't have stress too much. You feel confident about yourself. You feel confident about the decisions you make. And you think things in the more productive. It increases the productivity of yours. Your work has been better, and and more you do the task regardingly, it increases productivity. Think in other way. You try to consider people perspectives. There are, because we are not judging, we are not comparing, so we are just thinking about what is right now in my plate, and I'm just comparing and dealing with the things with what we have. And it just make life so easy and beautiful, that it makes sense, it makes more lively. It at least I'm not worried about something has happened 2 years ago with me, or something is going to be happen. Especially when the COVID has started with us, all of us, I guess it happened with most of the people over here. When COVID has started and you were so much at home, and you started thinking like, what is going to be happen, how can I run my business, this is going to be happen, what should do now, I don't have any job, especially the students, or the person who was just graduating and they want to do job, how to do job, I don't have experience, now it will be a gap, what will happen, these kinds of thoughts is coming down. And it comes with me, it does. Like, I used to be very confident about what I do, I just do with my first instincts and very confident in my working field. And being in COVID for 7 months, it's like what to do next, how to get into do the room, and how can I open my center, what is all the kinds of negative fears which is not even existing in my life, which is not even there, which is something if I was working in a more productive way in the things, I may not be worried about that too much. But since I'm alone, since I'm at my home, nothing much productive happening, you feel, you get to all that negative thoughts or the fears you have in your mind, it just come to the surface. Mindfulness help you to, you know, get rid of that fears at least somewhere. It makes you aware of your own present capabilities, what you are, what you can do, what is the qualities and tendency you have. And it makes you feel confident and, beautiful, confident, strong about your own self. And it is not a meditation, it is not something that only you can do, or only this can do, or it is something not like hypnosis or yoga that some person can do or thing. It is a practice. It is something like art. It is like, it is a muscle that we have to make in our mind. It is something like we have to work regularly with us, and has to be build that muscle. It is not one thing that you did and it comes up. We have to work every single day with ourselves to develop that mindfulness muscle in us. And it may, you think that what will happen, it is just a small step, but slowly you will see the gradual and bigger changes in you. And it happens with my clients before also. So it just, it takes very conscious effort of yours. Is making you effort to redirect your brain to not to go to thinking thoughts, not to worry about something, and focus on what you have right now. Try to figure it out, try to work on it. And it makes you confident about what is there, what is in your hand. And it's like in, higher level of functioning of your brain. You're just training your brain to be much more productive in your life, to not give you stress and do not give you all the negative thought that is bothersome and that is very, disruptive in you in some or the other way. This is something that just of mindfulness has been given me. I cooperate, as I said, mindfulness with so lots of things. So I do it with art therapy and all. So it is very much good. And if the people are here from some of the psychology background, then you can always hear mindfulness is combined with CBT, and that is called dialectic behavioral therapy. That is very much there, and it is more applicable and very useful for the people who has been in the field of psychology. So it makes you feel aware. It makes the client think kind of work, but I don't know what kind of population. So you can give me the brief introduction after the course, so I can get, we can work along that way. So this is about one more thing about mindfulness. And while doing all this, there are like many. This is not one thing. There's like, if we practicing mindfulness, there are like numerous ways. It is not you have to do meditation, you have to sit like this and pray your eyes closed. No, it is anything. It is so many ways to do mindfulness or to incorporate this in a very simplest way in your life. And it just not take effort in the process. It takes effort in the commitment you have, and you show to yourself that how will you do it and how much committed you are. It's something like that. If supposingly I ask you to do mindfulness, I'm not going to ask you to meditate every day, or sleep every night with that, or meditate or think something before, or do anything like that. In terms, they're like beautiful journaling, people journal mindful things, or do mindfulness lectures about it. So sorry, meditation. There is no need. It is not, there is so many ways, but there is no compulsion that you have to do. You can be mindfully aware or mindfulness in your life in any of the way, anyway. And there are so many ways. There is writing, there is journaling, there is a habit method we combine with it, there is a structure, there is a gratitude way we incorporate with mindfulness, and of course meditation. There is breathing exercise in mindfulness, and then there is art in the mindfulness, then there is eating in the mindfulness, is walking in the mindfulness. Everything, it is so vast. And trust me, if we will be having commencement for 5, so that will be the details. You can go from the coordinators, but before the course, you enroll or something for that, I would request everyone who is there in this right now with me over here, just try to, I'm going to tell what I'm going to ask you to do, but just try at least one way of mindfulness for at least a week. Okay, a week with you, and see the change in the mood of you, see the change in the attitude of yours, see the change of the behavior you have, and you can yourself see how things can change if we just change the programming of this part, this computer, this brain. It is all about this brain. It creates problem, it creates happiness, it creates everything. So if this is working perfectly fine, everything is fine. If this comes into its own way, it is struggle. So we have to make this thing work, and we have to take command of it. So mindfulness is like a computer language. It's like a Python for the brain. It is like a Python or Java language for the brain, which gives the brain a very healthy set of commands to move ahead, to move in the direction which is productive, which is peaceful, which makes you feel confident, which makes you feel more about you. I wouldn't say selfish, but self-occupied, self-loved. And more you feel like that way, you don't wait for people's appreciations and people grad things. You don't wait for validation that everyone is like, you have done a good job, you did good. You feel good by yourself because you did good thing for you. And that is what mindfulness teaches us, to be good by you, good by ourselves, be good thing by things. So while being mindfully aware about the movement happening, we aspectly do, which is more, focusable thing, or what is, I would say, key element. What is a basic element of mindfulness? Something, if we are talking mindfulness, we have to uh, go with two things. It is about awareness and attention. So what is awareness and attention? Why I'm just focusing on these two things is like, it is simply like, if I told you that, supposingly, I'm not go with the pronunciation, but I'm supposingly uh, Umar. There's a person here. I don't know you personally, so I'm just giving you an example. And if I'm saying, Umar, that this is a problem with you, that you feel always aggressive, or you feel always bad when someone particularly talk about your eating habits. Okay, it's an example. Okay, I am not saying something personally. I'm just saying, giving an example that you feel aggressive, or you feel bad, or you feel aggressive or bad about when someone talk to you about your career. Okay, so when I give you awareness about the kind of behavior you're happening with you, that always there is someone is talking about the career related thing or regarding the work, there is aggression in you. It gives you an attention. It gives you awareness that, oh, I always get angry when there's a topic about career, maybe because I am insecure about my career. So yeah, so there is a two options. Either I just become more secure about my job and career, or me be confident about what I do, or I don't have a conversation of what I do and how I do with the people which I don't like. So now you are aware about your behavior. Therefore, you give being attentive, and that is what mindfulness do. So more it is about that, being more aware and attentive about the feelings, about the emotions, about the thoughts you are having and why they are happening, so that you can always work on it. And the moment you get awareness that this is it, this is why I have it, is because you try not to do it. You try to stay in present, and you try not to get into the second arrow loop, or you know feel bad about yourself and do a behavior which is not appreciable, which is not nice, which is being mean or something to anyone else at that point of time. So mindfulness gives us that, and the very beautiful thing is about being paying attention, of course, but being aware and attentive towards what is happening in you as a person. What is your own uh what is your own strengths, what is your own weakness, what you like, what you don't like, what is your favorite color, what makes you happy, what makes you sad. We just sometimes, I've been with people and I've met with many of my clients. They are like being in the group, being in a relationship, so on, being very successful. Even they don't even know what why do they like to do those certain things. One of my client has think that I like coffee so much. I'm a habit of coffee so much. I used to have coffee in the morning. He doesn't even like the coffee. He doesn't even know what is it about, what coffee flavor he wants or what he enjoys. He just have a habit of having things. You don't even know why you're having the habits, why you're aware, why it is there, what is being, happening around to you. And this all rush, this the rush we are having in our life, a rush of so many things, a rush of so many, uh, you know, rush about so many things to succeed in life, to be something, to make someone happy by being a wife, mother, or anything you are. As a male member, also being a father, son, or to achieve something, to rush. There's so much running to make people happy or to certain kind of things. And we are trying to do our best, of course. We are trying to do it. But in the process of running so much and making so much multiple decisions, we at times forget what is actually happening. We're just, you know, enacting in certain way. I guess someone has raised hand Katiza Zam. Do you have any question? You can always put in the chat box. I can get from here. So it just, overly impact all the thoughts of you every time. And it impacts the sorry, I just have a thought, lots of thoughts with that thing. So yeah, it just, when so much things happening and we're doing something and something, some things become being rushing in our life and we forgot things and we just missed out things and we feel bad about it. We feel angry. We don't know why we're angry. We don't even realize what we missed, but we are feeling angry. We are feeling frustrated. We have so many emotions, griefs with us, which is not leading us to in any direction. And that creates, stress and so many physical and mental problems. So being in mindfully aware being in mindfully aware about something doesn't just help you to be, of course, with the mental health, but it also help you a lot with your physical body needs, physical body health, to love your body, to give the attention to the thing you have, the way you are living. It is very important to do that. So there's one of the very beautiful thing in mindfulness is the body scan meditation, and it's a wonderful thing to do while in the groups and the things. We definitely gonna do that. So that's a beautiful thing. I believe it is something, make you feel aware about your own body and how it is important to love this thing which is make you alive. People are being so careless about their body. They don't eat healthy, they don't take care of their skins or body things or hair or something, and they have reasons. They could have said they're busy, and I totally agree, they must be busy. I'm not complaining. I'm not saying they are not. Yes, they are. But this is something which is making you alive. This is the body gives you liability and responsibility to do certain things, to be what you are. And if you're not taking care of it, if you're not aware about your body, if you're not aware about the needs of your body or not being attentive towards it, then I think you're being mean to it. You're being granted to your own self. And that is the point the problem starts. That is the point we're feeling so bad, and we think that we have aggression towards the people, but it is more or less that aggression and the grief we have it just for ourselves. We are disappointing our own self, and that is what this mindfulness has given us. They just make us aware about the things we actually needed. So also there's a concept in mindfulness that I personally um, talk a lot about my Instagrams and everywhere I do is about pause and reflect. What mindfulness is teaches us in the thing that we are all running. As I said, we are in a chaos in our life and things are going too fast to achieve or to be something. Sometimes we just need to do a very beautiful thing is just to pause at times, just to get aware that geez, the moment you feel that things are rushing and that you feel aware about it, you get just attentive about it, why the things are just, and the moment is you get the awareness that things are rushing and you don't know what is happening and things are happening around and people are making decisions or you're making decisions which you don't even like or you're taking impulsive decisions. Just pause. Just pause for that moment. Wait. Just pause at that moment and try to assess the things. Try to reflect your own actions. Try to see that if pause and just think about the present situation, that this is the current situation and this situation happened because of these kind of people and they are reacting this. If I react in this way and that at this present situation, it is about the present, okay, at this position, the other person will react this way, it will be this consequences, I may hurt him, I may hurt myself, I may hurt them, or whatever it could be. And you may reflect the behavior, and because I may do this, it happened to something to them, or they may behave or reflect like that, it will break our friendship or do something like that. If if you know, and if the card of taking our restless and the impulsive decision, if just we pause pause for a moment, at a moment, just pause and reflect to our own actions, to the things at that moment, and not just your own, even reflect the situation and the behavior and the people around you in the situation, whatever it could be, of all the perspective angle, just reflect it. What would happen, what would be there, what is actually happening, how the people are reacting, why the people have that anger when I said him just a simple line. Maybe I heard it somewhere. Maybe there's something on his mind. His anger was not toward me. His resentment is not towards me. It would be something else. Instead of slapping back, you just reflect. The way you just pause and reflect situation. The anger, the good things, we recite down and you have a better way out, a solution, a a better way out to go with things, a better decision to move ahead in life is always better. So being mindfully aware is give you the power to pause. It gives your mind to see that there is something which keeps you, you know, power, which gives you think to just pause for a moment and be aware and be attentive to the situation and then take a reactive decision. Senab Riza, you have raised hand. Do you have any questions? Do you want to say something? You can type in the chat box. So it gives you that inference. And it's beautifully done in the places. And I have seen it has a very beautiful impact in the lives of the people. So I guess I make some points over here. This is what mindfulness is. This is how we work in it. So awareness is a broader sense. So if I'm talking about what is awareness and mindfulness, it's all about to be in a broader sense to aware what is happening into you and out of your surroundings. Awareness not just about, if I'm asking about awareness, I'm not talking to about just to get aware about the about the suppose it's an office situation, okay, and if I'm asking you to be aware about why didn't you get the promotion, okay. Okay, I'm in a very hypothetical situation, giving examples. So if I'm talking you about why didn't you get the emotion? So if you are my client and I'm asking to be aware about it, it is not just I'm asking about the aware about the of course the surroundings around you or about your own mistakes. It's about both. I'm not talking about being aware what which people is against you or which people were supporting you or who was copying or who was with me. I'm not just talking about that. Awareness is mean to be aware about the everything happening around you, inside you, and how it is experiencing and relating with you. Okay, so exclusively not just focus on one thing, but everything. So if you don't get promotion, you have to see, it is about the promotion thing. If you don't get a promotion, being a mindfully aware post, if you are my practitioner, if you are my trainer or my student, I would expect you to see that, not just to be get aware about the uh, I'm asking, while doing the mindfulness about the promotion, I'm asking you to get aware about why didn't you get the promotion, what were your competitors, how do they treat you, did they, how was the environment of the office, wow they are better than you, and what is, where is you are lacking also, what is you didn't do as a commitment. Did you do your best in the job? Did you give your 100%? Have you done the work in the way that has to be? And what other person is doing? So both exclusively, not just one fact. That this, it is not about just blaming one person, that abcd person, that this person has done something, that's why I didn't get the promotion, because he was, you know, going around the boss, and he was just being boss favorite, and he's being that. No, it's all about everything. If he's being boss favorite, then why is he being boss favorite? What is he doing? Can you do this? Is it against your principle? It is your principle. Do you even want this job? Do you even love that job? Do you want that promotion that bad? And if you want the promotion, why are you not working that hard? It's all come in the awareness, every single thing. So awareness is in, when we are talking about mindfulness, awareness is not just about one thing or one situation, it's about everything in a whole. And that is what we teaches, that is what we teaches and learn when we learn about mindfulness training, is that how to be aware about ourselves, how to ask those questions about self, that what is happening wrong, how to go ahead, how to move it, how to ask those questions, that what is bothering you in here, what is there. That gives the confidence, that gives the right direction to our brain to work, right direction, right command to the cpu to give the right results, give the right answer, input. Other than that, awareness is there. Now what you have to do? Now you have to do attention. You have to be attentive. So attentive is self-directed thing. So while realizing this, while realizing that you may have realized that you may even not want that in, you may not even want that promotion. You are just jealous of your competitor, or your the person who is against it, or who get the promotion other than you. You don't even like that job. That's why you don't like to work at that hard. You didn't work your best. So is he valuable enough to give that attention? The hatred or the jealousy you have towards a person, is it that valuable? Why are you jealous? And whatever the thought you have for the jealousy of the person, you can always direct it. So it's a self-directed behavior, intentional focus on something which you want to focus. So it is up to you. You can focus on your own self, your own qualities, or the outer environment where you are playing a role, and work on it. So the more you get aware about what is happening wrong. So as I give the example of Umar, that he was aware about his own behavior, he can always work on it. He can work on his career skills, or either he can work on his behavior attitude, anything. And it gives you the right, gives you the composure to enact in a certain way, to gives you an you know, to gives you an very good attention things, to be you very attentive at that point, to be very cautious and very consciously aware about what is happening around you. Now you are not lost. Now you are not just manipulating, or thinking things in your mind, or making lips that, oh, he didn't think about it because he think I'm a loser. I'm a thing. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he think you're a loser. Maybe he may not think. Maybe he's not considered about you. It is your own fears. It is your own ideas about you, which is so much reflecting on your own face and behavior, that is always catched by people. And you're always saying that people behave in a certain manner with you because they think that about you. And even they may not even considering that you may not even important for them. And it is a possible. You cannot be important for every 100 people you met. That's fair. Because those 100 people are not that important for you too. So this is what is about mindfulness. And when I talk about all this, it just, when I see about mindfulness, So, what is how to benefit is basically most from this training is just to understand that what is actually happening and what is the best response or the idea you can get from it. What is actually happening in your life? What is actually happening in this present situation? So, if I'm having this conversation over here and having a mindfulness session, what is actually happening? I'm trying to educate, I'm trying to teach something I believe in to a number of people. I don't know how many of you are there. So to a number of people who I think is equally acceptable and who thinks equally worth it for that. And I always try to teach more and more people about mindfulness because I believe that it is something worth learning, not just in the purpose of education or teaching or getting certification or treating people. It's just because of the personal individual growth. It makes you may not, the people who will be joining today or the batches will be using mindfulness in their whole life or learning or being getting certificate, but it will definitely impact your personal growth. It will impact the your business relationships, it will impact your school relationship, it will help you in personal relationship, it will help you everywhere. It's just not I am doing this because of the opportunity or things, but it is also the opportunity of being with the people. I think that is worth it. It is worth it for every set of people, for children, for students, for everyone who can learn this thing, because this is something we never learned. No one teaches us how to be staying present from the since the childhood, right? I guess at my home is a childhood. It is always a question: what are you going to do in the future? Every from that, whenever you pass 10th standard or something, people always ask you, what are you going to do next? What is next? How do you do? And we are just trained from the childhood. We are having that think about future or think about the past. Yeah, like what mistake you have done. Yeah, they just remind me my mistake of every single time. You had done this last time also. You had done this also. You had done that also. So every time from the growing age of my life, at least I can say that we always been learned by the people around us or by the teachers or by the family or the parents. I'm not against family, but by the family or things that what we did in the past or what had happened to us in the future, what is going to be to happen in the future. That is what you're worried about. No one is talking about the present, what you want now, what are you doing now, how are you now. They're not talking about that, exactly what is happening with you right now. And while learning this with this mindfulness teaching course or the training, it is not about no how you use in the professional field of yours, but it will, I'm guaranteeing the people 30, 40, 50 people over here to that if you be in there this course, it will help you in the present of yours, in the personality of yours. It will help you personally in growth, maybe in not in the career indirectly to earn money, but maybe it will help you to grow personally and intellectually to raise your life standards, the way you think, the way you see, the way you perceive. And it's completely about you. So it is telling you what is actually happening with you here and what are your ideas based on. So if you have an idea of opening a business of something, okay, so there is something that why you want to open a clothes business. Maybe you think about something. So why it is it because third person who is opening a business is a we being successful, so clothes business thing? Is it because, or do you have the convention? Do you believe in the idea? Do you have business mind set up or even not? So it gives you that thing. It gives you to reason out your own self, that what is in you, what are the passions you have, and how to lead in your life, how to promote yourself, how to be great, how to achieve something, what you want, why you want. And more you become driven about your own passions, you have a way out, you have a path to go in. Why we cannot move in the life? Because we don't know. If I ask someone from this and I want to know what do you want to do, people are generally like, I don't know. If I'm asking them why are you doing this course or why are you learning this, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing. Just because mother said, just because it has good money. Could be. But this is really you want. Is it really making you happy? If it is, fair enough. Fair enough for everyone. If it is your present. If it is not, then why? What else is lacking? Why are you not happy while you are earning 3 lakhs a month? Why? That is a question that we need to ask ourselves, that we need to find it out. Okay, and then Abhi, the way, okay, so now you have an idea. You have an idea what you want to do. Now you know what is happening. So the second question you would be like, what is happening, or the idea you are having right now, is it very important? Is it something worth it? Is it something to play with it? Is it something valuable enough or not? So if it is important, then how to go with it? If it is not, so are you even ready to learn about it? Are you even ready to work on it? Or if it is not that important, if it is idea of opening a clothes business not yours, it is not even relevant, and you know why, then why do you are working so much? Why are you learning it? Why are you wasting your time in it? Why? That is again a question. And then we have a third question. Out of all the ideas and the disregards and regards for something, try to ask that, okay, I have a vision, this, I have this, but can I not see? I have 3 lakhs rupees per annum job. My business is running well. My children are happy. Sorry, my children are doing well. My wife is not have a problem with me. I have a good life, but I'm not happy. Why? Why can I not see? What is there? What are the gaps there? What are the things which is not in the fit, which is missing? What are the things which you're looking forward to? No, what has to be there? What has to be presented in the life? That is what we see. And all this you can go from, all these questions has been answered through this mindfulness training. And it is not something I'm going to answer for you. Trust me. While the training is going on, you, the people will be joining me with the training. They are going to answer this question by themselves. And I'm telling they will. You have all the answers by the time training is over. You know what you're going through with. And so third question, now we have a fourth question. What would be the most useful way for interpret that things? Now you have an idea what you cannot idea, why this idea is important or not important, and what are the gaps in the ideas have. Now how to fill that gaps? What is the most useful way to use that ideas, and is it relevant? How to fill it? How to interpret the idea? How to make that idea work? If you have a passion for what? For sculpturing, making making uh monuments, or making that monuments, I'm not I'm sorry, it's not monuments, making sculptures and pottery items. Then how to proceed it? What are the ideas? What are the things? And how to make the useful of it? Where we are selected population? Is it for passion, or is it just you do in a sideway things? What is it? And how can you apply that interpretation in a useful way? Useful way doesn't mean it has to be monetarily done. Useful way doesn't mean that you will be earning something from it. So you will be earning money from it. Useful is not about always about earning money or getting things. Useful things is anything which makes you feel productive, which gives affirmation or confidence in yourself that whatever you have done is good. You feel happy about it. You feel proud of yourself that I've made a beautiful painting or purchasing. The painting I've this back in me, this is made by me. So this when I made it is not for selling, it is not I done for anything, and it is not that even great maybe. It's just a painting and I like it. I loved it. And this is why it is useful. It is useful for me because I loved it. It makes me happy when I made this. When it is just come out, it makes me happy. So useful doesn't mean always it has to be monetarily balanced. A gain, have any gain. It's just a personal gain could be. Okay. And lastly, if you share this idea with any people, if you share your idea, thought, or thing, will that person change the perspective? Will that person know your perspective, understand it? Does it make you feel better? And what other insight could have been given? So how does this work? So if I share this my painting to my friend somewhere, So does she like it? How does she feel about my painting? What would she say? She could suggest some ideas. She could say that this is a good technique. You could have done this, and how I can interpret it. So all this brain opening things that has been talented, that has been required in the living standards of our lives, that has been there, that has to be there as upbringing thing, is very much being, learned in the process of mindfulness. And it is, and as me as your as me as your guide about it, I'm gonna just tell you what has to be done. It has totally your role to do it, and you will be the master of doing it. By doing yourself, you can feel the changes in you, and it is beautiful changes that we can experience through this. It's always remarkably uh, best. So this is what is mindfulness according to me. What is mindfulness help to me to be, and what I felt about mindfulness. So yeah. So before ending anything about or just asking, there's one thing I want to tell you. Since I told you before also that I want you to practice mindfulness in things. So one thing, so in the beginning I said mindfulness is not about meditation or anything. You can do it anyway, anytime, anything. So how to do it? So when we talk about meditation also, people think people said that, you know, clear a mind or just focus your mind. I'm not going to ask you to do any of that. Don't do thing your mind. Whatever activity, whenever you're doing. So especially I would suggest the activity that is very effective done is set a time. Okay, how to practice mindfulness, and I just request the people, whether you join the group or not, try it for a week and see the changes. Okay, that is something I really want you to do. So it's a very simple thing. Set aside a time, like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, as per your own convenience. That is no rule. Set aside at least minimum 5-10 minutes, maximum anything you can choose, 15, 20, 30, the time you have. Set 5-10 minutes with you. You can do any of these activities I'm going to ask. Either you can have a tea or a coffee, either you can go for a walk in a nature, and I prefer you to go in a if you're going to walk in somewhere like on the park or something over the grass, try to have it without slippers. Just feel the grass on or the sand if there is. Okay, either reading book or music. Okay, these are the four activities you can choose, or anything which you love, anything which activity you really enjoy to do. So that's and which is activity which is only for you. So I do painting or I do reading books. That is my activity, or I have a coffee. So I used to do this with anything which is not for others or not for your working thing, but it is specifically selfishly yours activity for your own pleasure. So you can do any activity which is perfectly for your own pleasure. I would suggest have a music or coffee, morning coffee, or evening coffee, anything. Set aside for that. Supposingly, I ask you for a coffee. So take 10 minutes, take a cup of coffee or a tea, go to a quiet place, go to a place quiet, and maybe a balcony or in your room, anywhere, anywhere, and be on that present moment. Enjoy your coffee and do not think about anything at that moment. I am being having the coffee and you know enjoying coffee and sipping it. Try to focus about the coffee, how that coffee feels on your lips or the taste buds or the tongue, how it is going through your body. Focus your own attention, full attention to the taste and to the aroma and to the all five senses of your body and the coffee. Okay. Take that 5 minutes, do that activity, focus, fully aware about it. Do not think about anything. Whenever your thoughts wander, redirect the thought on the coffee. So if there is something come to your mind about something ABCD, about your child, about your husband, or anything, do not think it, do not give attention. Just redirect your attention to the coffee, focus it, and just be there. Let your judgment roll by. Do not even make the judgment. Your coffee, coffee is good, it is tasty or not. If it is yum or not, it is been nice. Do no judgments. Just have coffee, enjoy it, in thing, and observe it. how it is feeling to you, how this coffee is going through your, esophagus to your body, and how it is feeling to you, how relaxed you're going with what each and every sip of that. And then be kind to your mind, let it relax with it. And if you're having it in an open space, in a balcony or something, and if it is winds going on, feel the wind. Just let the wind feel on your face, and let it just experience the wind. Do not think about anything, just experience the nature. Let it hit. Think about the winds only. Experiences. Totally draw your attention of the senses to the present and see the change about it. Give that 5 minutes of relaxation to your mind and to yourself. And I would request it to be done for your personal thing. So use any personal activity, not something cooking or something which is you do for everyone or something like that. You can do it also over there. It is not bad. It is acceptable and right. But it is more applicable to do it on the present, on the things present, and to be kind to yourself, to any uh, any selfish activity, I would say. Okay, so Fatima has a question: how to control negative thoughts? Fatima, being in present, negative thoughts are are like magnets. They attract most of us because we are prone to feel like that if things goes bad, what will happen, and we are more prone to have tensions. So to be control negative thought, you have to train your brain to stay in present. What has happened with this? If the negative thought is I am anxious, if you have a negative thought of being anxiety, so you always see a situation around you and you always feel, I'll get anxious about it. So supposing you feel anxious if someone is getting late, or if there is a big event, so you're feeling anxious. So as the event coming closer, what your mind is saying, event is getting closer, I'm getting anxious, event is getting closer, and this is a relation your mind has make. To control or to remove the negative thought, you have to change this command. Do not tell everyone that you're getting anxious or to be focused on the thought about anxious. You can always use the word that I am anxious, but how can I manage my anxious? So I'm anxious. Other than asking yourself, I'm anxious, I'm anxious. What is why I'm anxious? Why I'm anxious? You're just focusing on the word anxious more. So your brain is getting the signals of getting anxious. Either you can ask yourself the questions like, how can I redirect my mind? How can I think about something else? What should I do? How can I control my rage? What is the next step? So you have to redirect your mind and the concept with the negative thought to a positive one. Now you will, now when you give your mind in the any stressful situation, rather than about being anxious, you give a other situation that I'll do this. What would be the activities would I like to do? Then your mind will start finding the activities rather than the focusing on the thought of being anxious. And it is not an easy thing to do at once. It does not happen in one day that if I told you this activity, you try in one time with your negative thought, it will work. No, it will work very slowly. It will work with constant and continuous pressure and time with that. So I would suggest you, Fatima, the thing I've just tell about the 5 minutes exercise of basic mindfulness practice of your self being selfish activity. I called it selfish, but I love this thing selfish about, and I don't feel the selfish is a very negative word. That is why I'm using it. So you can use it by anything. So you can try that activity on you. Choose anything that you like to do, which is not stressful for you. Do that thing every day for 10 minutes. And whenever you're having negative thoughts or any thought at the time, do not entertain your thought. Do not focus on the thought. Let them wander. If whenever your thoughts get started, coming to your mind, which is distracting, redirect your attention to the activity you're doing. And keep doing that cycle for at least, it just happened in 10 seconds. So keep repeating that cycle. It's starting, it happens at 10, then 20, then 30, and then the time of the cycle increases, but it happens very frequently. Always redirect your mind. Do not feel stressed about it. Ki, oh, you have to rethink about it. No, just do it again and again. It happens like that. And do it for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, as per your own comfort. And you can see the changes in your own self. And you can see how beautifully you're growing, and you can see how it feels, and you can always tell me what is there with you. Is it do I give your answer right, Fatima? Are you satisfied with it, or do we have any more questions? And anyone has any more questions, please come up. Anything they want to know about mindfulness, and any doubts regarding what I've said till now? You can either type in the chat box, or you can open the mic and tell the questions if you want. Anyone has any questions? Fatima, is it clear with you? Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please raise your hand so we would be able to give you the opportunity to speak.
The positive outcome of mindfulness. So, as I said, the positive outcome of mindfulness is being aware of what you have right now. So, when you are aware about your own self, what is your own choices, liking, and what you do basically, what is your behavior is driven off, you can always do that thing in a better way. So, if you are having about overflowing of emotions, about anger, if you have anger issues, if you're doing mindfulness practice, you can at least aware about why you having anger issues. Is it because of the parts, and why, and what is the main points you always get angry? Are you angry about women? Are you angry on children? Are you angry about being unpunctual or anything? Because sometimes people have anger issues and issues related to their things, but they do not even aware why they're having feeling that way. So mindfulness, the positive emotions, positive outcome is first is that it helps you to know what is actually happening with you without making feel you bad about it. And this is the way your mind circle is going. What is this in with you? And it helps you to focus about it, to be helpful about it, to work on your things. Am I clear, Saliha Fazil? Okay, I may pronounce the name wrong. Please bear with me with that. Okay, how to control over emotions? When you get know or what is your emotions and why they're triggered, of course, then you can always be control. So as you get aware about your emotions, that how they are getting triggered in your life, how they're affecting, and when they are getting triggered, you know how to command it. Sometimes you're starting feeling angry when someone talks bad about your cooking, and that is not because you have that anger issues. It is always because maybe your mother has that anger issues. It is not your emotion that is driven. It could be an emotion that has been there, has been in your life, maybe because of the genetics or your family or the past you have, that even maybe you forgot, that is maybe in your unconscious mind. When you get aware from the mindfulness that why your emotions are so much stronger and why it is always there in you, overwhelming you, you can always work on that. You get aware. So next time when you're having that overflowing of the emotion things with you, you'll tell yourself, it is not mine. I'm not doing this. I'm acting like my mother, or I'm acting like this one. This is not me. I should not do it. And it's over. You won't act like that. OCD patients cannot control negative thought. They are addicted. How to overcome? Okay, Fatima, OCD patients have a different kind of thing. It's a clinical disorder. Okay, so it has to be done with, and it depends of what kind of OCD it is, because OCD is a very big spectrum right now. It according to DSM-5, OCD is a very big spectrum with level. Okay, so OCD is like a range. Somewhere everyone has some points of OCD in themselves. If it is crossing 50s, 70s, it is very critical. If it is not, it is no, it is limited. Okay. So when OCD patients, which is if you use a patients first, I'm going with a very critical patient who has very severe OCD problem, then we have to go for the clinical treatment with medicines, and with the thoughts we have different kind of therapy with them. We do CDTs, this cognitive drill therapy, and we do CBT, but only with the commitment the patients have. Okay. And OCD will, the therapies will always work on the patients who are aware about their, illness and who wants to work on it. So if the OCD patient who wants to work on it, then therapy will work. It will overcome with the process. It will gradual take. It may have to go longer than the usual. It will work, but it depends on the degree of OCD, if the medicine, and how the patient is willing to deal with it. Not paying attention when studying also come under this topic, ma'am. Not paying attention is so many things under this top a lot. So not paying attention could be the fact of if the child maybe understand, maybe not aware about the questions, or maybe not aware about the not paying attention could be a lots of reasons. So it could be like the child is not interested in the subject, he doesn't find studies interesting, he may not have a good teacher, or he may not understand what is teaching. So he may have it. I'm not saying the child would have any child disorder or dyslexia or anything. It could be the level of interest that a person is. If you make the studying very interesting, interactive, and fun for the children, it helps them to be related. It helps them to be, thing. Why the children doesn't study these days? Because they're boring. They're mostly in the phones, and they have an option of playing games or do certain activities. They avoid it. So not paying attention doesn't come under this topic. It is because of so many other reasons. It could be a psychological reason. It could be the interest reason. It could be the child's own capability. He's more into maybe sports or something. He's not a person who have that intelligence of things. And it is not a bad thing. Every person has good learning things. He's not that into the books. Or he may like if someone tell him the story and he remember it. So it could be so many other reasons for that. Being mindfulness will not give you the solution for the situation. It will give you the solution for the situation, but it will give you the solution of the situation in the different ways. Do you think? I am, if you are being mindfully aware, you know this. Okay, you had a fight with your Sahila Fazil. Okay, Sahila Fazil. Okay, are you married or not? Do you have a relationship? Can you tell me one thing about it? So, okay, let's just assume that you have a fight with your friend. Okay, and in a rage, you have said a very awful things to him. And in the very rage, in the very anger, he may have said the very awful things to you. Maybe at that point, it could be happen that you may both take each other words very seriously and become angry towards each other and become mad at each other. You may do something, and if you're not consciously thinking, you may do something which is very bad, which you may regret later. By being mindfully aware, you could take a break. You could just pause. Okay, yes, you're married. So, okay, that is a fair thing that if you get mad when they don't get do homework. I may not tell about anything. It is fair. Uh, it is not bad, but do not take anger in the physical hitting. It may make the children very rebellious. Try to use different way of punishment with your children. It will help them to deal with it in a much more better way. But as I gave an example, so you had a fight with your friends and you have said something very awful to your friend, awfully bad and up thing about it, and the fight could be about something miscommunication, I would say. And this doesn't mean anything to like, but you just feel the words and just break your friendship because both of you in the race said so many bad things and hit each other. Either of you, if is mindfully aware, could have taken that pause, could have just take a break, and instead of fighting, just get away from each other and think about situation. You may go, you may go to the level of understanding and realize that did he react like this with me? He never get mad at me. He never being so mean. He was always understanding. Why does he get mad at this time? Is it something bothering with him? Is there something he need help with? It just let you reflect about all the things happen to the present. And the moment you reflect from the situations of so many areas, when you pause, when you get aware and give attentive to the things happening all around, You know the solution yourself. There is no need for anyone to tell you what to do next. You know what is right. Your instincts will tell you. So, by this way, mindfulness does give you a solution at many a times. And it may not give you a solution of your problems, but it gives you a peace out of your mind to this. Ways to face the failures is in a positive way. Example, okay, okay, that's a very nice question, Rahman. Face to face of failure in a positive way. Do not. I personally feel failure is a very good thing to have because it just tell you what not to do in your life. So if failure, what happens with us that in our whole life, since very from the beginning of our age, from the childhood to this time, we have been so much given something worse. So jealousy is a very bad word, hate is a very bad word, selfish is a very bad word, greed is a bad, but failure is similar like a bad word. Just the fact you failed, how, what has happened, something bad has happened, but it is not that bad. Failure, we just relate ourselves with some very bad words like losers and failure, and then our mind trying to drift into the thoughts that if you're a failure, but you're zero, you're nothing. Failure is not about nothing. Failure is something like a setback. You just fail once. You may do not know how to win, but you may know that what not to do to get failed. At least you know what not to do to be achieved. At least you aware about what you don't want. So always tell your person who is being failed in the interview, tell that it is not a failure, it is a setback. It is just a setback to you. You just don't know what to do. Maybe you are lacking in some of the conviction. Try to do best. You at least this interview failing, you understand that what is not required, what is the way you are lacking in it. Right, next time you can always do better because you right now you know what you know and you will not repeat your mistakes. And mistakes are always very important. Mistakes makes you grow. Sometimes we do not learn from others, other people's mistake. If I am telling you that that driving rash is bad, which is always said, rash driving is bad, but you may never understand the value of rash driving unless and until you may have experienced that by yourself in that extent. The day you experience it, you will be supported of it by knowing it. It gives you a great impact. So sometimes mistakes, being failures, always tell you what not to do and give you impact of the things that life has to teach you. A lessons that is so much valuable in a life that gives you an inference in a next level. You become so confident about it. You just become so strong about it. You just learn some, and those are the lessons that you never forget. Also, just know how to do it because you know you have suffered the outcomes of it, and you have always you know go through from all the mistakes and you know fill through it, so you know about everything. So that gives a very good learning to you. It's a very good way of learning always. So have I answered a question about failure when I forgot the name of you? So is it clear, or do you have any more questions? Anyone have any more questions? Please, you're welcome to here. Even you can open the mic also if you want to say something. Uh, and there is someone, Sumay. Thank you so much for liking what I've said and to enjoy the session. Anyone? Any more questions? Any more thing you want to know? Any doubts? Anything about mindfulness which is curious about it?
No, teacher.
I totally request everyone to do what exercise I've told you, and I may not be in the group to tell understood the thing, but I would. You can always see yourself that how that 7 days, if you do something mindful by yourself in any way, and how does it impact your own behavior? You know, you're starting feeling angry less. What happens if there are females in this conversation over, they would relate with me well, that we generally feel that we are not appreciated and acknowledged well in our families, and we feel so bad about it, we feel so frustrated, and at the end of the day we are like the person who just want to kill someone because they are just asking us another glass of water. We just feel so angry because we are not appreciated too much, and that is not good. But it is more because we are giving so much of ourselves and so much of our life to so many people in the family, which is not bad, I'm telling you, but it feels us bad that if we are giving so much and people are not appreciating because we are not giving 1% from that to our own self. That makes us feel guilty for our own self. And the more guilty we feel for our own self, the more frustrated we go on their loved ones. So, if you just take 5 minutes for you, just 5 minutes of meditation or drinking or coffee or anything, or reading a novel, just 5 pages, even 5 or 7 pages, you are content that at least you did one thing that you love to do. Now you have to spend another 24 hours and 55 minutes to someone else. You just feel good about it. Uh,
Yeah.
you just feel good about it, and you just feel so relaxed about it. You just feel so calmed about it.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi. Yes. Hello. Yeah.
hello.
Just actually, I wanted to ask. Just now, you gave the answer for that, because
Okay.
I wanted to ask. Okay, you do that. What you get really? 5 minutes mindfulness. Okay, you do. You drink your coffee. Actually, I do that with my tea. Every day. I love my tea. But
That's why coffee or tea, anything you can use.
yes, yeah. So, like, I wanted to know, okay, you drink that, you get that satisfaction. So, what it really does, the exercise, what you are doing, telling to do, now I understand. Oh, it's a self satisfaction, right? You do
Yeah,
something for yourself, like,
you, yes, that you do something, then you don't have that anger for others. And that's why I want that when you are having a tea or coffee, do not think about your kids for that 5 minutes. Do not think about your in-laws. Do not think about the society or the phone ringing. Just have that tea or coffee with your own self and fully acknowledge that. Fully acknowledge that moment that you're giving a treat of coffee to yourself. You're just, giving yourself that 5 minutes of relief and
yeah.
experiencing things for the things. You're just being in the moment, not thinking about anything. Anything, I would say. Not present, not past, not sorry, future, past, what mistakes, what else you have to do for it. All things can wait for at least 5 minutes. You can do that
Mm,
afterwards.
yeah. Understood, actually. Yeah, that's a good thing, like. And just would like to know, this part comes, I think this comes under psychology, right? Which part of psychology this comes is mindfulness?
Positive psychology. It is not very directly linked to the positive psychology, but it has some essence to it. It's a kind of a new practice that comes with the positive and applied psychology.
Okay, because I remember once one of my friend told me, when you really, normally the ladies, when they wash the dishes and all, too much dishes, you get really frustrated, right? So she was telling me, when you, like, the water touches you, you feel that, okay, the cool water is touching your hands, and then you are doing that. So you will, you will enjoy that, instead of just getting annoyed, like all this, like that. So I think this is what you are trying to emphasize, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less. Yes, it is the same way. It is.
Mm.
That's why I've said in the beginning that it is a kind of a cognitive therapy. There's a therapy called dialectic behavior therapy, which is derived from this process only.
Okay,
So it's a
get.
way of therapeutic that we lead to it, but now it is a different kind of learning also, where there is not just for the people who's in the psychological issue, but we can incorporate in our present and the present life of a normal, in the normal living lifestyle, so that we do not have that psychological issues at all. So it is kind of, we are making something more of like yoga and things that we do physical exercise. It is more of doing, not that means a simple activities to be aware about own self, so that we do not go into the second thoughts of and make rash decisions, being, mentally hurt ourselves. Because as much the physical body is important, the mind is actually important, and they're very interrelated.
Yeah,
So
true.
healthy mind leads to healthy body.
Yes. Thank you
uh,
so much.
Thank you. So for the recording, you can ask to the coordinator. They'll share you the recording, and the all the details about the courses has been given by the coordinators to you. I guess they have the recording too, so they'll share you for that. I'm not aware about it. Any more questions? Anyone else? It's a wonderful. Yes, yes, it's a very wonderful way to prevent mental illness. I agree. It just if we're talking about the mental illness, why we have mental illness about depression or anxiety or any of this? Because we overthink. We just think and think and think and think and think, because we cannot stay in present. Either we are worrying about future in anxiety, or either we are relating about our past experience to something bad and bad and bad, and getting into the negative depression. So if we are not at all linking or getting into the second layer of thoughts of being judgmental about our own selves or the people around us or our behavior, we won't have any mental illness. We can prevent ourselves for getting stressed or being depressed or because we know what we are doing. We are aware about the needs of our body, of our minds, and of our life, and we can, give our 100% to that, and we can live that. So that's why it is always helpful to prevent the mental illnesses that at many level, if we can just incorporate that in a right status of our life, if we can teach that things to ourselves. Any more questions? Anyone? I would love to have all of you in the courses as much. So if you like things and if you're very interested as me and the process of mindfulness, it will be great to all of you have in it and join it. So anyone has any more questions, please, you can always put in the chat box if you're busy, or you can open the mic and tell me. We can have a conversation. We can have a conversation about anything you want to talk about. Any doubts? For the any details about the course and the videos has been shared by the coordinators. They'll give you every detail and how to proceed with it. So all the registration details and everything has been can be shared by the coordinators. So they'll aware you about everything. Any more questions? Shall I? Yeah, you can share the course details. I guess no one has any more questions now, so I guess you can share the course details now.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now, about the course details. The class will start on 5th of March 2022 and will be conducted on weekends for a month from 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. The full course fee is 2,700 rupees, and we have a 3-member group offer of 2,000 rupees each. You can see the course contents at the bottom of this flyer. The registration is open now. At this moment, I would like to remind that we will be providing the complete course details and updates via our WhatsApp groups. So if you have not joined our groups already, make sure you do tonight. The links are provided in the chat. And you can also get more information and get registered to this course by contacting 076 222 5953 076 222 5953. Finally, we have come to the end of our session. I would like to extend my gratitude to our speaker, Ms. Sakshi Bhushan, for the interesting presentation and also for the participants for the active participation. Hoping the session would be beneficial for everyone. Thank you once again. Assalamu alaikum and good night.
Thank you, everyone. Be here with me, and it's an honor to have this session with you, everyone. It's been really great to have it.
Thank you.
Thank you.